Let's bring in Kenneth Valentine, former Secret Service special agent in charge. Organizers are vowing tens of thousands of protesters will attend the DNC, Ken, but many of them will be bussed in from outside of the state. How will Secret Service and other law enforcement agencies plans for these mass protests?
Yeah, great question, and it'd be interesting to see how many people do show up and what kind of coordinated effort they have. What I would expect to see is a very robust plan already in place to handle this. And you know, the Secret Service has the privilege and the responsibility of coordinating all the security efforts for the DNC. But Chicago's done this before. They've had 25 national political conventions in the past, and certainly 68 and 96 come to mind as the most recent. But there's a robust plan. They've been working on this for the better part of a year. The FBI is in charge of intelligence and counterterrorism operations activities. So I would expect to see both the coordinated effort on the part of the protesters met with a very well coordinated and planned in place to handle that protest.
And Ken, we know that we're still expected to hear from that judge who's making his ruling on the 13th, I believe, about whether or not groups can demonstrate in a certain area around the convention center. Do you believe that that will also affect the security levels and how things are able to be managed?
Well, I would expect that would have already been taken into account as part of the planning. And the NSSC nature of this event means that they've been planning and coordinating for a long time, upward of 25 subcommittees that specifically tackle and engage on these things and plan that ahead of time. Chicago has established places for people who want to demonstrate and have free speech. It'll be amplified with speakers and whatnot. But it is incumbent upon the groups that are coming into protest to do that peaceably. And when they can't do that, then I would expect Chicago, in coordination with the Secret Service, to have a very robust plan to manage that.
Because you agree, Ken, nobody wants to see a repeat of 1968, which is the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the law enforcement's in a real pickle here because they have to and want to allow for the peaceable assembly of people to protest and have their free speech heard and do that in the right way. But when it gets out of hand, now you're on the defense trying to manage that and mitigate the threat to everyone else who's gathered there to peaceably do you know, part of what the American tradition holds, which is to have a political convention. So I would expect the plans to be in place. We'll see. You know, it's really upon the Secret Service to try to mend this reputation after Butler, and so I suspect that there's a very robust plan.
We hope that robust plan keeps everyone safe. Ken Valentine, thank you so much. We do know all eyes will be on Chicago next week. Ken, thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.